Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Innerviews, where we talk to the people behind the businesses. And today I'm very excited to be chatting with Belinda van Wyk. Belinda, please will you tell us a little bit more about your business and why you started it?
Hi, I'm Belinda van Wyk, and I am the owner and partner for Craft Butcher. We started an online butchery as we saw the gap in the market for perfection and unique meat for consumers. People want that interaction. They want their cuts to perfection. They really want that personal touch when they order their meat, and that is what we are there for. Our business started in 2019. It's a very fresh business. We're looking to go into different market segments, and we're really passionate about our business.
I find this fascinating because, I'm one of those customers who likes a good cut of meat. And I found that in a lot of the retail stores these days, some of the cuts, you can't even recognize them. The meat's just hacked up into chunks.
Obviously, yes, and that is why it's important to also label your meat and your packaging so that your consumer knows what they are consuming and what they can cook with those
Okay,
cuts.
okay, okay. Now, this is kind of a new idea for selling meat because buying meat online is quite an interesting concept. Most people want to go into a store and find it fresh and see the freshness. Do you find that's a challenge for you guys at all?
It can be, although because we are new, we are doing sample packages for customers. The latest customer and that we have is somebody who actually cooks pastries from home, and she makes her own meat pastries, spring rolls, samosas, and she enjoys our product because it comes in bulk, it comes in your tiny packaging, your unique packaging, and we package it to the way she wants it, whether it's 250 grams, 1 kg, depends what her volume of baking and cooking is.
Okay, so you will customize the size of the package that you send out.
Correct, correct.
And where are you sending the meat to? Is it nationwide or specifically in one city?
At the moment, we're only based in Gauteng, but we are planning, and that is our big dream, is to become national.
Wow, that's that's going to be quite a challenge. Uh,
Yes.
how are you planning to ship out to little towns that are in faraway areas?
My plan is to support local butchers in each individual city or town. Let's say, for example, Kuruman, you will get a little butcher, which is a small butcher, and we can also support them by using our network of customers and communicate a standard. That obviously, there will be audits involved, supplier audits, to make sure that we ensure the quality of our meat.
Mm.
And he will then, or he or she, might be a she, they will then package our meat for us and ensure that it's delivered on time, right quantities. And they will also be going through an annual audit to ensure the cleanliness and the hygiene standards are up to date.
That's a great business model. I think it's going to support a lot of small butcheries around the country also.
Yes, yes. Local is always lekker, and that is what we also stand for.
That's fantastic. So, what made you venture into this business?
You know what? We've got two little girls, and it's not like the old days where the world is tough on girls. But securing a job in these days and times is hard, especially for youngsters. So my dream is to keep them occupied. Maybe one day when they are older, to leave something behind and to leave a legacy for them, just as a back foot, something to fall onto, if they can't make their own king's meat, if you want to say that.
So that's wonderful. So you're really building a business that you want your kids to take over from you one day.
Yes,
Oh, that's a beautiful dream. And
it
what were you
is.
doing before this, Belinda?
I've got a full-time job. I'm a marketing assistant at an occupational health company, and we're all passionate ladies. So I've got a big passion for ladies in business. But that is my day job. So this is a very much a passionate job, and I really enjoy it.
So you've created a side hustle.
That's correct.
And how long do you think it's going to take you before you transition into doing it full time?
Sure, it all depends on the market and the customers out there, and how big and how quick this grow. We all know that we are in COVID-19, and we are on level 1 at the moment. So my aim is, on average, a small business takes about 5 years. We are looking into opening our own shop location. I'm just not sure where, but it will be on the East Rand, offering customers unique products. And I will share that with you if you're welcome to also share it with your listeners and your viewers once that dream
Absolutely.
happens.
Absolutely. I love getting feedback from people that I've interviewed at a later stage. This morning, I got a wonderful message from one of the ladies I interviewed earlier in this week to say that the video that we did with her got her 3 new customers, and I just got goosebumps.
Wow.
I was
Oh, I'm also
very
getting
excited.
goosebumps as we speak.
And what sort of meat do you sell?
We sell anything. So your beef, pork, venison. I want to show you some of our packaging. I brought you some of our packaging. So this is our little samples. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay.
So these are for a customer. We are going to pop it into the vending machines. So
Okay.
it's labeled. They are fresh, and we're going to be popping them into vending machines in the near future. But it's beef, it's venison. We've got pork, we've got chicken, we've got spit bras, especially going into December season. The year-end functions coming up. I don't know how many companies will be able to afford year-end functions this year. We will be offering spit bras. And we always see where we can assist customers, especially with costing, because money is tight for everybody at this year, and this opportunity. But any meat and every meat, and we also custom make. So one of my big dreams is to also look into something new. Example, a pepperdew and feta steak. Offering customers something else. That's just something else, and also to do blogs on recipes. So about 10 or 11 years ago, I did my diploma with the International Hotel School in hotel and catering. So I do have the food background, and that very much is my passion, is food. And we all know food brings us together. We all
Yes.
have to eat, and
Yes.
it's festivity. And with December coming up, it is the festive season.
Yes. So are most of your customers businesses, or do you sell to anybody?
Anybody, we're 50-50. That's businesses and individual consumers.
Okay. Okay. And are you finding during COVID-19 people want to buy their meat in bulk? Because I know here down in Uniondale, I go to our butcher who's between us and Arrest, and we buy a whole lamb. Just because it means that we don't have to schlep back and forth all the time for our needs.
Yes.
Are you finding
Yes.
more people are buying in bulk during COVID-19?
Not really. I think they will buy more often depending on your fridge space. Because
Okay.
if you look at a single mommy compared to a big family businessman, your fridge is only that big, or your freezer is only that big.
Yes.
And because it's a perishable product, you need to also keep that in mind.
Yes. Yes. And what are your most popular products?
At the moment, it's chicken breasts. I think people are also going, because we all put up some weight due to COVID. I mean, you can also see the little double chin going. But so I think we're all aiming for the more healthier option, chicken breasts, lamb roasts, which goes very nice in a nice samosa. And I had for lunch, I had a lamb curry pie, which is from my customer buying from me. They are really divine.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you supply your customers, and then they provide you with finished products that they
Correct.
sell back to you. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we
That's
all need
awesome.
to support each other. And she's also a lady running her own business. So, I mean, women, we need to be there for one another.
Mm, mm. What do you feel are the biggest challenges for women in business in South Africa?
Sure, that's a tough question. I think the fact that we are occupied we've got so many things on our plates. We need to juggle so many balls. I wish there was 28 hours in a day instead of 24.
mm,
If I look at myself, I think time is one of the things that are a big challenge, and also support from your partner
mm,
is a big challenge. You need to have that support, just somebody to lean on to, so you can do what you want to.
mm, mm. And how are you juggling having a full-time job, children, and a side hustle?
I've got an
Just
awesome husband.
okay.
So I have got such an awesome husband, and he also assists with deliveries to customers.
Okay.
So yes,
Okay. Okay. So you would say that finding a good partner who backs you up is a key to success
yes,
in a role
yes,
like that.
correct.
And I know for myself personally, in my past being self-employed, very often when I was trying to juggle very many balls, my own self-care would be the thing that I would sacrifice. Do you find yourself falling into that trap?
You know what? At times, but when you also need to make a conscious decision and decide that now it's me
Mm,
and nothing else.
mm,
So whether it's an hour a day, or or you get up earlier and say, now is my time. Or you say to hubby, look, it's now my time. Take the kids just for half an hour.
mm.
You need to make that conscious decision. Definitely, definitely. And they understand. They understand better than you think.
And how are you teaching your kids about entrepreneurship?
Ooh, that's an interesting story. So I've got an 8-year-old and I've got a 16-month-old. So my 8-year-old, actually, I teach her by talking, and
Mm,
repeating myself, because I like to teach her that she can be whatever she wants, whatever she dreams of, because you can be whatever you want. If you
mm,
have a dream and you dream big, you can be that.
mm,
And she went to visit my mom yesterday, and my mom enjoys knitting and making things. She's very much the arty crafty person.
mm,
And she said to Oma, come Oma, I want to make a dress. I enjoy this material. I want it made this way.
mm.
And she knew exactly how she wanted it made. So I
Okay.
allow her to experience what she wants to in her thoughts, and then dream about it and be creative about it. And she made the prettiest dress.
Mm,
And afterwards, she said to me, Mommy, you know what? I know what we can do with this dress. And of
mm,
course, I listened. And she said to me, we can open a school and make these little dresses for girls. The tiny girls will be 200 Rand a dress. The
mm,
bigger girls will be 400 Rand a dress. And
mm.
that can be their school uniform.
Oh, that's
That
beautiful.
is, and that is how she is taught. It's about practical examples as well.
Mm,
So what I will say to her is, make mommy pillows and I will buy them from you. Do
mm,
this for me and I will pay you for it. And that's how she learns to build up a little salary, or her spending money, is by
mm.
doing things for me, and I support her through that structure.
That's a really beautiful way to frame. When I was a kid, it was you got pocket money for chores, but it wasn't
Yes.
connected in a business sense. It was more
No.
like if you do this as a child, then you'll get these benefits from your parents. Not
Mm,
I can make this valuable item and I can sell it for money that I can
yes.
then use for other things.
Yes, she's
So
also has a beading kit. So she would make beads or necklaces, and she would actually sell those as her spending money.
okay,
She
well.
and needless to say, she hates chores. So so
Don't worry,
bribery
so do
doesn't work.
I. That's
So
that's a very, very beautiful and insightful way to teach
yes.
young children about entrepreneurship.
It's important. It's the future of the kids of the future, and it really is important. And I found now in COVID, they used to have market days, and they don't do that anymore due to COVID. And they need that stimulation. TV
Mm,
can only entertain you for so long.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
And where do you see entrepreneurs and startups kind of within the context of the country? Why do you feel that entrepreneurs and startups are important?
You know what? I'm busy studying BCom marketing in between everything else, and we did a case study on a small entrepreneur business. It was an online shop who developed. They had an online shop where you can actually go and purchase alcohol. They're called bottles. So, and it was two gentlemen. So you would go to a party and say you now ran out of your vodka or your alcohol, whatever you're drinking for the night, and you are not in the state of driving. So you would call them up, say, hey guys, please bring me some booze. And they would come and deliver it to you. That was their concept, about stopping drinking and driving. And then they approached Pick and Pay, and they are now running the online shop for Pick and Pay.
Wow.
Pick and Pay online shop. So, and that is when I did the case study while doing my BCom, I realized that, South Africans are so driven. And in our vicinity where we are located, I can see all these little pop-up shops coming, coffee guys doing their own coffee, brewing their own coffee, guys making their own biltong. It is so interesting to see. And if you can do it with passion, I think you will, and in innovation, you can't have the same product looking the same, doing the same thing. It will only be fresh for so long. You need to be innovative. And if you do that in a business and a startup business, I think there is a great future for you.
I love your passion and enthusiasm for the entrepreneurship space.
Yes.
Were your parents entrepreneurial, and did they teach you to be this way, or is it just the way
No,
you wired?
it's just the way that I think it's something you find it in you, and that it just drives you. It just drives you, and it keeps driving you. No, my parents, my dad was a traffic cop, and my mom is an accountant. So obviously they are my soundboard and my reflection. And I very much wanted to sell my products online on different other channels, using different other drop-offs, if I can call that. But perishables don't always work for all markets. So that is why I'd rather own my own product, make sure that it's fresh, delivered to my consumers.
That's a very interesting insight. I was wondering how you were kind of tackling that aspect of what you do. I've always said it, the one business I don't have courage for is selling food, because it is perishable.
Yes. But meat has a long shelf life. So you can keep meat for about 20 days, 7 days if it's vacuum packed, and then you can start processing it into like fragrance. I want to say fragrance meat, but that's not the right term. Flavored meats, marinades, etc., etc.
And do you have a plan for your stock that possibly gets to its sell-by date for redistribution in different ways?
I would say donations.
Okay.
Eventually, when we get there, there's so many South Africans suffering out there. Soup kitchens can go for donations, different anonymous packages for different households that are really struggling through this time.
You might want to chat with Nosh Food Rescue. I interviewed them earlier in the series, and they take on foods that have reached their sell-by date.
Okay, so NOSH.
That's correct. You'll find them on Facebook. They've got a Facebook page.
Okay, I'll go give it a squeeze.
And how are you marketing this online business?
At the moment, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and I use my WhatsApp business a lot, just connecting with different consumers as I get inquiries. And I use MailChimp. MailChimp is a very big market tool that I also use.
Okay. And do you find that the bulk mailer brings you lots of customers? Or is it more about just staying in touch with them?
I think staying in touch and communicating, especially specials. Later on, I will start communicating recipes. When we go into summertime, nice little recipes for your braais, your meat pies, and those kind of things. So that'll be my next communication channel.
And do you think your business is going to be seasonal?
I think it's too new to say, as we're not even a year old yet. So, but I don't think so. We all want to eat. We're South Africans.
Yes.
We like food.
That's true. And
so in the long run, I also want to go into the hotels and the guest houses, as well as the catering schools. I think there's a big gap in the market there, as well as in hotels. Your buyer in a hotel don't have the time to sit and type out every product that they require for their next function that they are planning. So if you can just go pop, 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 click, 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 you've got your order online. You don't have to worry about it. You forget about it. You put it in the back of your head. Boom, it's on your doorstep.
Makes sense. What have been your biggest challenges in your first year of business?
I think setting standards is quite a big challenge, and also finding pricing, pricing in the market, because the consumers are very price sensitive, especially for meat. We don't want to pay too much, but we want quality meat. You don't want to pay Woolies prices, but you want your quality meat. So it's finding that little stepping stone and the comfort of your consumers trusting you, because you are not cheap. You're not the guy on the corner, but you offer them quality, and I'm bringing it to your door, and it's convenient.
When you say you're not the guy on the corner, it brings to mind, I used to often drive into town, and outside a certain business in a certain building in the middle of town, there used to be a guy who had literally just a cardboard box that he was selling meat off, and he had this little switch that he used to chase the flies with.
Oh, shame.
But he
Oh,
was there operating for many, many years. I always used to wonder how he got away with it.
I think it's your lower market, because remember, when you register a business, and there was something that came into my mind quite a lot, you register your business on an address, but it's not necessarily your operational address. So you can register your company on your home address, and you might operate in a shopping center. So I know that for those type of let's call it casual business, you need to have, I mean, it's obviously the health and hygiene guys won't have a look. They just turn their vision a different way. So
And has it been quite difficult getting all those requirements in place for your business in terms of health and hygiene standards?
at the moment, we are making use of a supplier. So very much, I don't keep meat with myself. I keep my meat at my supplier, as I know the stock rotation, the first last in, first out is very much important to them. So, and I check their standards. So that is where we're at the moment, until we have built up our consumer base to keep our own stock and buy full carcasses.
Okay, that makes sense. I find your business modeling very, very interesting.
Is it?
I do.
It's just a way of thinking. I think it's a way of thinking about how can you work smarter and not harder.
Because your average person would buy the meat and then try and find somebody to sell it to, kind of thing. I've seen that happen here in Uniondale. We've had a couple of butcheries have opened up and then closed down again because the guys come in with a great idea. They buy the meat, they put it on the shelf, and then it doesn't sell fast enough, and then they don't have a plan beyond that.
No, I would rather, if I was one day in the future, when I open my dream butchery, I will then rather keep minimum stock, have it test the market, and if it sells, then you go in bulk.
Makes sense. Now, I connected with you on the Insaka community, hey?
Yes.
And what have you learned from being a member of that community?
I listen to a lot of their videos, and they, I must say, the way that they present themselves really gives me insight on how to run my own business. And I enjoy their little videos. It's really interesting on how to run your social media and your website. I developed our website. I developed myself. I'm not a website developer. That's one thing I'm not. But I developed our own WordPress website with our own WooCommerce, and so if I get stuck, I would go and search for videos on how can they help me. Yes, so it's really a very helpful group.
That's a wonderfully inspiring story, because a lot of people feel they can't create a website without a web developer.
No, if you look, if there's a way, there's a will, there's a way. So look, the nights that I've sat and I've designed websites and then I don't know how to do it. There's so many YouTube videos you can go and Google these days, and it shows you step by step on how to do it very easily.
So where do you see your business in 5 years' time?
Hopefully I would have a walk-in butcher and be national. A national butcher. That's my big dream.
National stores in all the big
Yes,
cities.
in full time, not part time, full time.
Okay, okay. And do you think you're going to miss your job that you have now?
I'll miss the people, not the job. I'll miss the people. But they've
Okay.
learned. I've been with the same company for 10 years.
Yes.
They taught me a lot. They made me who I am. I mean, I was a little straight freshman out of college, and so the field that I'm currently in deals a lot with COVID, and
Mm,
COVID is a scary thing, a scary disease, and
mm.
so I've learned a lot, and it's dynamic women that I'm working with, and it's insights, and also again that soundboard that you need to say, hey, what do you think? Do you think this will work?
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I see us being national, having one or two walk-in butcheries. Who knows? Maybe 10.
That's a great dream. I really hope that one day it comes true for you and for your
Thank you.
children. It would be
Yes,
lovely if you could create a business that your children can inherit from you.
it's
S-
important to leave a legacy.
Yes. So, Belinda, if anybody wants to contact you online, where can we find you?
They can find us on Facebook under Craft Butcher, or they can find us on Instagram, Vase Your Vlees. That's our Instagram. And we are also on LinkedIn, LinkedIn Craft Butcher. We've got a group on LinkedIn. They can keep an eye out there for all our specials. Or they can pop me a WhatsApp message if they've got anything else that they need or that they can't find on the website.
Okay, and what's your number on WhatsApp?
It's 072 497 2579.
Thank you so much for chatting with me today. Your story is really inspiring, Belinda, and I'm sure it's going to inspire other entrepreneurs out there to possibly think about their business models a little bit differently.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate your time.